Oh, mama. Oh, mama. I've been watching Johnny Bravo funny moment videos on YouTube. That show is kind of off the hinge. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be hitting chest and back tonight. First time hitting chest as part of this new little series I'm doing. So that's cool. I just finished my little pre-workout meal that I have basically before every workout, which is just several rice cakes with some peanut butter on it. Gets me all greased up. You know the drill. We got the pre-workout in the cup, and that's about it. Honestly, I'm not too sure what to talk about because this is my third consecutive day of filming this, and at a certain point you kind of run out of things to say. I mean, obviously there's plenty of things to talk about. It's just hard to conjure them up out of the blue. I'm thinking on this drive that I do every night, I pass by 2 high schools, and every time I pass by the schools, I think back to my time in high school, which really wasn't that long ago. I graduated class of 21, and just thinking about how bizarre high school was, or kind of thinking about how bizarre just the general public education school system is. Just thinking like that was my life for 17 years, or I guess 12 years. Didn't really start school until you're like 5, but that's like all I knew. And now, especially, I mean, college is pretty similar. I mean, if you make it that way, if you make your schedule to be like a high school schedule, it can be pretty, the same. But for the time being, I'm doing my classes online, and it's kind of a joke, honestly, how much easier it is, and yet how much more camaraderie and more weight these classes that I'm taking now hold in, I guess, the corporate or real world, having a degree in something, and yet they're like 1,000 times easier, and they're expensive as hell. Makes you wonder where all that money's going, am I right? But like, my assignment for this week is, it's probably because it's an online class, but at the same time, it counts, it's weighted the same as a normal traditional in-person class. But it's like one assignment a week, due Sunday at midnight, and the assignment this week is a 1,500 word essay. And in this day and age, with the amount of column resources that you have at your disposal, like if I was a teacher and I was assigning essays as their weekly assignment, I would at that point, I would just accept that everyone's just going to use AI to write it. I mean, if you're a student and you're not using some kind of AI language model to write, or at least help you with your schoolwork, you are falling behind and you're wasting a lot of time that you could easily be saving. Now, I'm not saying that I would ever submit anything written by AI for accountability purposes, but I'm saying I know a lot of people that do. Paying all this money for this course, and you finish the entire week's worth of work in an hour and a half. If you're studious with it and you're actually like focused on it. Granted, you could throw on like some music or something in the background, you might get distracted. It might take you twice as long, but it's definitely going to be more enjoyable. That's what I like to do. I throw on some music, throw on a podcast, and I'll catch myself kind of waning off focus every now and then, but it makes the time pass by a lot faster. Makes the time fly so that it feels like a shorter amount of time than it really is, up until I get to do what I really want to do, which is talk to my girlfriend. Passing by a strip mall right now and see all these stores like Kmart, or not Kmart, there's no Kmart here. There's a Kohl's, there's a Ross, Dress for Less. I think there's a Big Lots somewhere down the road there. Who's going to these places? Like, have any of you ever been to a Big Lots or a Hobby Lobby? I mean, maybe if you're like a, middle-aged mom. Oh my God. This turn every time, I swear to God, gets me. Well, I know that probably wasn't the most riveting discussion. Hopefully I think of a couple more interesting topics to think about at the actual gym, which we are coming up on here pretty soon. So I guess I'll see you in there. Beep boop. Oh, and Burger King. Who's going to Burger King? For real. I mean, I don't go to fast food ever unless it's for like a video. If I was filming a video where I was like doing a fast food eating challenge or something. But even Burger King would never be one that I would consider. It'd be like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Cane's, that kind of stuff. All right, you get the idea. See you in the gym.
What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
What you hitting today?
Chest and back.
Chest and back, yeah?
It's gonna be a good one.
We got homie Blake here tonight, the young man that came up to me yesterday and asked for advice on tricep exercises. He just came up to me off camera and said, "What's up?" New friend acquired. Thinking about, should I like start like talking more about the workouts? Like, I was thinking about actually like starting to follow like an actual like workout program, or like not necessarily, but I would kind of, before I start my workout, I would kind of create a workout outline of what I'm going to do. So like I'd actually like put it into words, and like maybe I could put it in the video, then maybe you could like follow along with it in your own time. And I don't know, just trying to like add some sense of creativity into these things, make them stand out from the rest. Ugh. One of something kind of sad that happened to me today. So, as I was talking about, I think yesterday, I dabble in the dating app realm. Matched with this girl, we're talking, we're chatting it up, we're chopping it up, and I asked, like, the conversation got to a point where I would just kind of like, we were just asking random questions back and forth. And one of the questions I asked her was, I was just saying it like jokingly. I said, "Who built the pyramids?" And then she says, "What do you mean? Like, is this a trick question? The Egyptians built the pyramids." And obviously, I'm coming from a place of saying, like, jokingly, "Oh no, aliens built the pyramids," because I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan. So I say, the correct answer was aliens. You must not listen to the same podcasts I do. Like, this is totally like unserious conversation. And then about 10 minutes later, I look back at it and she unmatched me. You win some, you lose some, I guess. Coming off. Looking for my straps. So basically, I've been trying to focus on incline dumbbell because for some reason I'm like stupid weak with flat bench and I'm just kind of sick of not progressing in it. So I focused on incline dumbbell for the last few chest workouts and we're getting pretty strong with it. So we're gonna try to work my way up to 100s. We're trying to do 3 sets of 8 of 100s. These are 80s. All right, these are 90s. If I can get 8 reps of this comfortably, then we'll go to the 100s. Easy. Just fucked up my hand. Fucked it up re-racking the weight. Kind of like slipped and then I like pinched. Fuck. We're gonna do some first aid here. It's actually like, it's like it won't stop bleeding. It's like right on the knuckle. I'm not sure what this is. It says it stops bleeding in seconds. It's a powder? Just like some powder. It says to pack it on the wound, so that's what I'm doing. Think it'll get me high? Kind of making a mess. Alright, that should be enough. Losing my pump, this is bad. Alright, okay. I think that's a decent solution for now. Since the Band-Aid is right on the knuckle, it's constricting my finger so I can't
really bend it, so I can't grip the dumbbell properly. So I guess we're gonna have to call a rain check on throwing up the hundreds, and we're just gonna do this machine that I've never done before. So that's kind of a bummer. Kind of bummed about that, honestly, because I was feeling excited to be strong, but guess it wasn't meant to be. Oh man, I got blood on the forces. Drop set. Beat him up. Beat him up. Let's move on to some back now, finally. I'm gonna take one out of Jeff Nippard's book for this exercise, and he does the fun little variation where he goes to the side and he pulls across his body rather than just behind. I lowered the seat a little bit, so I have a little more full range of motion. I just had this girl text me, what is my go-to order at a Mexican restaurant? And it was completely out of the blue, which I like that, by the way. I like when people just ask random questions out of the blue. If a conversation's stale, you don't need to like keep prolonging the dryness of it. Just like switch it up, throw something into the mix. What is my go-to order at a Mexican restaurant? Honestly, I just like to eat chips and salsa the whole time. Warm salsa, of course, but love me some enchiladas. But that's also like usually a lot of cheese, and I try to limit my cheese intake. Probably like a sampler plate. Either the sampler plates that kind of have a little bit of everything, like maybe some taquitos, a couple nachos, maybe some quesadillas. That's what I like. Or fajitas. Fajitas, I mean, sorry. I get those sometimes, but a lot of times those are like stupid expensive, but maybe I'll share it with somebody. All right, I think it's probably my last exercise. I've been doing a lot of sets off camera because I haven't really had anything to say, but you know, that's okay. You don't have to be, you know, completely super energetic and super talkative every single day. Just pumped to go home and start season 2 of Yellowstone, dude. Woo!
What the heck? Who put a cold plunge in the posing room? I've never even done that pose before. I don't even know if I did that right. Okay, bye. Well, out of 10, that was probably like a 6.2 workout. I felt decently strong, but I just didn't have any get up and go after my injury. I don't know. I was really excited to try to throw up the hundreds and impress you guys, but obviously we didn't get to get there. But next chest workout, we'll do that. Throw up the hundreds on the semi, or it's not really a semi, it's like the moderate incline. It's not that steep of an incline on the bench, but if the 3 sets of 8 we were gonna do initially, we'll do 3 sets of 9 next time. How does that sound? Closing thoughts, closing remarks. I am not a fan of criminals. There you go, I said it. The only criminal that I am a fan of is O.J. Simpson, because he's not a criminal, because he didn't do it. Yeah. Have you seen the O.J. show? It's like the docudrama series, the O.J. I forgot what it's called, but it has what's his name? The guy from Pulp Fiction. What's his name? Starts with a J, I think. God, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. J. What's the white guy's name from Pulp Fiction? What's his name? God, this is gonna drive me nuts. I can feel like, I definitely know it. Oh my God. All right, well, I guess that's not the point. It's a good show. Highly recommend it. I think it also has the guy from Friends in it. I never watched Friends, but it's in it. Really, really good crime, legal drama show. Also, another show kind of on that topic is about the Unabomber. Forget what it's called exactly, but it was another kind of like historical drama miniseries. And you know the Unabomber Manifesto is something that he kind of wrote up. It's basically like his Bible that he made up, and the show kind of touches on some of its core concepts, and frankly, I agree with a lot of them. His main thing is all about kind of abolishing government, and how laws are, just put in place to herd you like sheep. It's a really it's basically just nihilism. But there was a couple examples in the show that were quite powerful. Like, why do you stop at a red light when there's nobody there? Or a stop sign when there's nobody there? It's 2 a.m, nobody on the roads, no cops in sight. Red light comes up just based off of timers, not because anybody triggered it, but just because of, after a certain point, the light will eventually turn. And yet you'll still drive up and you'll still stop at it, just like a little sheep, following laws for no reason other than you've been programmed to follow them. And ever since watching that, I find myself running a lot of red lights. But when there was nobody there, like there should be no problem in just like, okay, there's nobody there, I'll just go. But for some reason, you get an itch. You get like this weird feeling like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Like, what are you talking about? There should be no feeling of remorse or of rebellion when doing it. But for some reason, there is a sense of that, and that has to just be from, being raised in a society where obeying the laws is paramount to your survival. I don't know. Interesting top. I gotta stop saying that. I don't notice it in the moment, but when I go back and edit this footage, I notice after probably about 50% of the statements I make, I'll just end it with, I don't know. And I don't know where that comes from. Is that just like, my immediate thought is it comes from a place of uncertainty, of being insecure about my opinions, which I'm not. If I was, I definitely wouldn't be making these videos. Like, I could care less, because like, if you don't like what I have to say, then don't watch. It's pretty simple. And comments don't really bother me, but I don't really get any negative comments. But that's not the point. I just end a lot of sentences with, I don't know, or even like mid-sentence, I'll just say, I don't know. if I said something that's even remotely, maybe offensive is not the right word, maybe something that's remotely, what's the word? What's a good word for it? Offensive, I guess, applies, or eyebrow raising. I'll tell you what, making these videos has made me a lot more confident in the things I say, the way I talk, and just the overall, and just kind of the way I think, honestly, too. And I've talked about it before, but there used to be a real crippling sense of anxiety anytime I would try to throw up the camera in public. And there is a little bit of it still, but for the most part, nobody really cares about what you're doing. Everyone is more concerned about how they might appear to everyone else. So the way I see it, I throw up a camera, whether it's in a gym or at a public park, or I guess maybe a parking lot somewhere. I throw up the camera. Yeah, I know people are gonna immediately turn heads, because anytime somebody sees somebody sees somebody with a tripod, that's just like out of the norm. You don't see that everywhere you look. You're just like, what the hell are they doing? And then once they kind of figured out, oh, this kid's, making a cringe video, they go, whatever, don't care. And then they go back to being, super in their head about, do I look good? Does my hair look good? Do my clothes look good? Do I look fat right now? Like, nobody cares what you're doing. They might care about your initial action of starting whatever it is you're doing. But once you get in the groove of it, they'll disregard it and go on with whatever they're doing. At least that's what I do. Before I started making videos, when I ever saw somebody at the gym, which was probably the only place I would ever see it, throw up their camera, and granted, there is a little bit of judgment depending on whether their phone is in a vertical orientation or horizontal orientation. I'm biased towards horizontal because I like the YouTube long form content, because if their phone's horizontal, that means they're making a YouTube video, and if their phone's vertical, that means they're making a TikTok or something. And I don't know, I spit on those kind of people. But even then, it's like, yeah, do what you want to do. You go get them, Tiger. And also, whether this is true or not, I think when people see me throwing up the phone and starting to talk into my microphone and whatnot, whether this is true or not, which it probably isn't true, but this is what I tell myself they wish they had the confidence to be doing what I'm doing. Because whether people want to admit it or not, I feel like everybody would like to have a social media following. Everybody would like to have some sense of, I don't know if fame is the right word, but notoriety, I guess. Or maybe not even that, just it's nice to have positive reinforcement from people in general. Whether it's in person, by a person in front of you, or even just online, it feels nice. There's a train, but I guess that's all. That's all for me. That's all for this video. I gotta go edit. Story of my life, but it's a good story. It is a good story, and it is just getting started. So with that, I bid you adieu. So does my wound, and I hope to see you in the next one. Kisses, hugs, and lots of love from Parker. Bye bye. Back.